Hey guys, in this video we are going to finish problem 14. It is the second to last problem in the Intro to CAD problem set, so let's get going. Just a couple things. This looks like it's some sort of pipe bracket or something. The important thing to remember is this again is orthographic projection. We have a top view, front view, right side view, and as you know, it all needs to line up. Everything lines up exactly. Not kind of, not maybe. If it's not exactly, it's not right and it needs to be done again. So let's get going. We're going to start with this top rectangle here, and let's see, coming into Vectorworks, and I did a little math for you guys. You're welcome. And this first rectangle is 6.39 inches wide and it's 2.25 inches high. So here is our first rectangle. Now we are going to start drawing some circles in, and that's the first thing we're going to do. So I'm going to start over. We're going to start on this side of the rectangle. So this first circle is 0.75 inches over and 0.45 inches down. So 0.75. I'm drawing a line, and now I'm going to draw another line, 0.45 inches down. I'm going to zoom in here just to look at this half. So now we know that that center point of that circle, which is a radius of 0.30, that goes, let's see, radius, I got close, 0.30. Alright, I'm going to drop this guy right in here. And now we know I'm going to get rid of these lines. Now we know the next circle is 1.35 inches exactly below it. So 1.35. There we go, 1.35. We're going to copy and drag this circle out. Now I'm going to come over here and drop them right there. So now these two circles are done. I'm going to quick pop in the center marks just so they're there. Alright. Now we can draw on some of these other lines, or lines that we have dimensions for. So I'm going to draw this, the first dark line, not dashed line, from the right, and that looks like it is a line that is 1.88 inches out and up. Here's that line. I'm going to get rid of my extra line here. Now it looks like there's a dashed line to the right of that that is 1.5 inches. I'm going to drag this guy, draw a line, 1.5 inches, and I'm going to draw this other line. And now we need to make sure that this guy is dashed. So I'm going to come over to Project Style. Let's look at Dash Style 1. Let's give him a try. That looks like the dashed line we're looking for. Now let's see, we have let's see, there are a couple other lines here. There are two lines right here that are in the center. I'm going to wait to draw those until we have the bottom view. So what I'm going to do right now, what we can do is I'm going to mirror these guys. We've all done mirror before. Select them, find the top center, and here we have, looks like I have an extra line, couple lines in there. So here is our top piece. We're missing just a couple lines right here in the center, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. So the next piece we're going to do is we're going to do the front view. So I'm just going to draw a line down just so we're lined up. And now I am going to draw this line. I'm going to draw this line right here. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to start, and this line lines up exactly with this point, so I'm going to drag it down. When you're doing orthographic projection, the more that you can pull off of other views, the more accurate your drawing is going to be. So now I can get rid of this line, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to start here. Now we're just going to follow the dimensions around, and this guy right here is 0.38 inches. And then this line right here snaps up to this guy. Okay, and now this next line down, we have a dimension right there, and that is 1.91. Okay, and now we need to draw a chamfer right there. We could use the chamfer tool, but I'm just going to show you it's the poor man chamfer tool. Up until about 3 versions ago, the chamfer tool wasn't there, so we're gonna draw this the old school way. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to draw a line down 0.94 inches. And now I'm going to draw this line 0.94 inches over. Let's see, there we go. And now I'm going to draw that bottom line that is 1.51 inches. Now I'm just going to connect the endpoint to the endpoint and delete these two guys, and there we have our chamfer. And again, it's sort of a poor man's chamfer. So what I'm going to do now, we need one last line to draw, and we need to draw before we do some mirroring, and we're going to draw this line right here. And looking at the dimensions, what we need to do is we need to add 0.38 and 0.94. So I'm going to add 0.38 and 0.94 to 1.32 inches. Now I'm going to show you this is where I got that from. 0.38, I'm drawing this line from this point right to here. Added those together and it came up with 1.32. So now what we're going to do is I have half of it drawn, and we're going to come in and we're going to mirror it. Let's see, so I'm going to select everything, and we're using this as our base. So I'm going to come here. You see how it drops it right into place exactly. So here we have our piece. Now what we have to do next is draw in that last arc, and we know all it is we're going to connect these 2 points with a circle and do a little trimming. So I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to draw the 2-point circle, and I'm going to come along and I'm going to trim this guy off. And here is our front view. Now what we have left to do is the right side view. So again, I'm just going to draw a couple lines just to start. I'm going to draw this guy, and now this doesn't have any dimensions on it, but we can take our dimensions from other parts of the drawing. So this bottom line of the rectangle is this dimension right here, which if I remember right was 2.25 inches. So I'm going to draw a line that's 2.25 inches. And now I can delete this guy. Okay. Now we can use this. I'm going to drag my line up, snap onto the top, pull it over, do the same thing here, pull it over, and there's that. Now I can drag this guy over to here. There's that line. We have this dark line right here. I grabbed them. And now we have this line is the line that's just below it is a dashed line. So I'm going to grab a hold of the bottom of the arc. Let's see. Here we go. I got the red mark. Come over here. Drag that in. I'm going to change him to a dashed line. Here's our dashed line there. Let's see. I think we almost have all of our lines done with the exception of our dimension lines. But we have these 2 lines up here, these 2 dashed lines, and those 2 dashed lines are looking at it from the top, and we're seeing these lines right here. And again, these are just dashed lines, and we're seeing that bottom angle. So I'm going to drag our dash line over, and now we have everything with the exception of our center lines. So, and we have these couple lines here, so let's get these guys, our hidden lines. So let's just kind of zoom in. We've done this a couple times before. I'm going to draw these lines down. Draw these lines down. Trim them away. Trim, 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 trim. These lines will get turned into dash lines. And again, we need to find our center point, our center line here, our center marker. So we've all done this. Again, no cheating. We make our own center lines. So I'm going to find the center point, come out here, do this guy. Okay. I'm going to delete this guy right here. This is our helper line. We're going to mirror this guy around on the center point. Group it. Control G, and there we go. Let's go back. Now what we can do is we're just going to mirror this guy over. Oops. We're just going to mirror this guy over. So we're going to select these guys right here. Let's see. Okay, we'll just do this. We're going to mirror him right off the center. And here's this guy. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out these same lines are going to be over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this guy for now and drag him over here, not put him anywhere in particular, just get him right here. We're going to zoom in, and now we need to figure out where these guys are. Now, if we look up at the top view, this circle is this circle, and the center point is 0.45 inches down. In our case now, the center will be 0.45 inches over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Vectorworks and draw a line 0.45 inches over. There we go. I'm going to draw a line down. I'm just going to delete this extra guy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this guy over. And here is we got to go to the center point, sorry. Drag him over. Here's our first. Oh, I deleted the wrong. Here we go. Now this guy mirrors. So we're just going to mirror him. And here we have these guys. Now we have one last center line, the center line on the right side view. And I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to grab a hold of our center point. I'm going to draw a line right here. Now I'm going to cheat just a little bit, but it's not cheating because I have a nice center line right here. I'm going to drag him and copy him down, and I'm going to copy. All right, I'm going to copy him, and I'm going to rotate. So now we have our guy right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim him off and put him right in the center. So I can find the center line. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab my guy right in the center, midpoint, drop him in the midpoint here, and now I'm just going to pull him out. There we go. I'm going to delete this inner line, and here's our center point. Voila. So let's take a look, and I think, see, I'm going to drop my center point in here. Here we have our center point. I think we're all set to go with our dimensions, other than I'm going to move this around Move this guy down just a little bit. Now, in this drawing, I did not give you any dimensions, like the top view has to be so far away from the bottom view, whatnot. The thing is, and we've talked about this in class, is when you're placing orthographic views, you want them close enough together that you can see the line relationships, how things work together. You don't want them so close that the dimensions get crammed up on each other. So you kind of have to, each drawing is different. So we're just going to start up here on our drawing, and we're going to start dimensioning here. Zoom in. Alright, here we go. We're just going to kind of do it to it right here. Here's our first guy. Let's see. Here's our second, and we want these to all be lined up. So we snap there. Now we have 0.75 there again. Okay, now we can come in and put in our 1.50 out there, and now our last one is 1.88, and we'll put him about right there, and we'll move this guy up just a little bit. Okay, I think we're good on that side. Now we're going to come over here. Going to get our, here we go, 1.5. This guy wants to line up. Looks like that's right. Now we can come down here and we'll dimension from here. Here we have our these guys right here. And then we have this last dimension right here. And our circular dimension is our radius dimension, so we'll get that. And that looks like it's an external radial. So here's our external radial, R30. And now there's a problem with that dimension. I'm going to add, I don't have there are 4 holes there, so I want to make sure those are noted. So 4x space, so now we have 4 times r. We know that they're there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to dimension this guy right here. So let's start here. All right. There. Make sure they line up nice and tight. We'll draw this guy right here. Again, we want them to line up. Now let's come up and do this guy. I'm going to pull 0.38 out because it'll look a little neater. Now let's come over here and start. 0.38. I'm going to drag this guy out. Okay, now we have our next dimension. Snap on. And this guy lastly is right here. I'm going to put that dimension right there. Now, if I think, I'm going to move this guy just over just a shade. Hold down the key so it stays exactly horizontal. Now all we have left to do, in fact, I'm going to drop these guys down just a bit. Now we just need to put in our labels. Top view. That looks like it's centered. I'm going to drag and copy him down. Front view. And we're going to call this guy right view. Copy and drag him over. Right view. So Looking at it here, I think that looks pretty darn close. Let's take a look at our example. I say that looks good. So there you go. There's problem 14. Hopefully it helped. I'll see you back on our last problem, problem 15, and have a great afternoon.